ladder with, but we're not going to be seeing his Zoe. So that one's going to be banned straight away from the GP as well as we enter Champions League.
So if you want to know what champion is intrinsically linked to UCAL, it is one of our big meta champions right now. The Taliyah is his career most played in solo queue, not this season, but in previous seasons, had a disproportionate amount of Taliyah games. I believe it was 70% of all games he played last season. So he is a Taliyah god. That's left open. I think KT will certainly take it in the first round. When it comes to the first pick, things are a little bit different. The Skarner priority still is super high, even if the results haven't been there. And it's actually just going to be a Skarner ban on blue side for KT Rolster.
Yeah, not wanting to first pick that one away. Still could be gunning for something like a Sejuani that Score has been doing well on, but Kongdoo wants to have an opportunity to take that one away if they want.
Yeah, Sejuani versus Jarvan does feel like what we're going to get for the jungle matchup. Rise Bang going to come in against UCAL.
UCAL been abusing how ridiculously busted Rise is currently on 8.4, where solo queue is going to be, and Azir going to be taken. And Pawn just came off back-to-back Azir games. If UCAL has a brilliant performance here, man, you'd have to argue pretty hard to get Pawn back in the lineup.
Yeah, his second performance where he took the heal against a lot of engage and was basically chain feeding was probably the reason that he doesn't get to play here. Yep. I mean, guys, go back and watch the game. He was zombie pushing by
Maybe
the end.
just don't. Maybe don't.
But look at this, he's actually going to be against a Taliyah after all. So Taliyah will be picked up by Edge. First two picks of the draft are mid laners, so we now know the mystery of what UCAL will be playing and also the mid lane matchup. 80 carries are usually taken very early in this game, and they want to set up for a Xayah Rakan. No Kalista Rakan to answer it.
Yeah, so not going to be able to have that Kalista opportunity, meaning that KT can't pick away the Lovers Duo if they want to.
Is it Varus Braum time? That seems really obvious. Braum against Taliyah also has massive use in interrupting the Weaver's Wall, so I think you take Braum in this rotation. I guess you don't have to take the Varus. We'll see what KT's read on the situation is.
Yeah, of course, Deft has a lot of champions that he can play to an extremely high level. The Caitlyn standing out, but does need to have two extra ones, and Ezreal would definitely be a departure from what we were expecting from KT's bottom lane.
But not a departure from Deft's favorite champion pick of all time. It does free up some of the support choices, but I think they will eat a Braum ban now. If Kongdoo Monster feel they can send one, when you see Ezreal, you think there's going to be a lot of playmaking available to other lanes. So again, you wonder, will this be Smeb unshackled on a carry? That'd be really cool to see.
Well, I feel like Alistair, Braum have to both be banned away here by Kongdoo, giving Mata still a whole lot of options that he can go towards. Taric is an option, Tahm Kench there as well, so you can't truly pinch the bottom lane.
Roach has been on Gnar duty almost the entire season. 10 games of Gnar. I'm not talking about win rates for Kongdoo because they don't win a lot, but he's played a lot of Gnar or in his other fallback, and guess what? A Sion game. Just if he feels like having a bit of fun. Too much Ornn, jump onto Sion, almost the same champion.
Yep.
But that means the Jarvan ban will come in to try and hold back Raze, who's had champion pool issues of his own. His Camille was actually pretty impressive, so Camille available might be taken on the red side for Kongdoo, as we do see the Braum ban I was speaking about.
Yeah. Pretty telegraphed won that one, but Mata obviously looking pretty unfazed when it comes to his picks being taken away. KT now deciding whether or not to ban Zac or something like that, or move towards any top lane bans. Give Smeb a little bit more wiggle room. Gnar is definitely there as something that they do want to take away. Roach is on 10 games for the season thus far. So Vladimir has looked
time out here.
Okay, no. Sion is going to be the ban. I love that, because it means we just won't have any more Sion.
Does mean we might have Ornn for his best Sion cosplay.
That's true. But we're not going to have Ornn versus Sion.
Are we going to have a jungle pick now and a counter pick against Smeb to try to deny there being a carry? Wait and see what Kongdoo want to do. Zac seems like the very likely jungler. It's his first visit on Zac. He's competitively undefeated on Zac this season, 3-0.
Yeah.
Playing at the start of the season, but never after. With the Ezreal, you have a lot of different ways you can play the top lane. I wonder if they would get frisky enough to just pick Jace and say, well, Roach, what do you got into this pick?
Oh my goodness, Mata was flashing a few things, but it will go back to the Tahm Kench, which does make a whole lot more sense. I got a little bit baited.
So Gnar would be the most standard of picks here. The Jace would be into the effective champion pool. But the Camille also straddles the line between carry and more of a standard top laner. So we'll go for Camille after all.
Not wanting to team fight against the obvious engage power that Kongdoo have set up for themselves.
Still difficult to 1-3-1 when Zach is on the board to potentially engage against the 1-3-1. So there will be backup team fighting. KT have a lot of team fight options, but they can split push. That'd be great. All right, we're hovering Darius. That's
There's 1 second to go. Oh, in the end, it'll be Shen as the ultra disappointment option.
They played with our hearts, but deny it away. Top lane Shen is a bit different from what we see usually, but Roach is all about containment in the top side rather than necessarily being unleashed on a carry. Didn't want to go into Orin, which was available in this scenario. Would have been pretty similar in lane, but how about some playmaking? The right elastic slingshot comes up and Shen can ride along. There is Wombo engage available for Kongdoo. But kind of the issue here is that usually when you see a Talia comp, you want to see 4-1. Feels like Camille's going to have a lot of options to push in the side lane and kind of undo some of the power in the 1v1 top lane. It's going to be much more about hard engage from the side of Kongdoo.
Yeah, and I really like what KT have done. Put Smeb back on a carry, try and get him those 4 kills to push him over that 1,000 kill mark, which is just ridiculous. Been playing since 2013 here in Korea. And if there's anyone that can grab kills on the top lane, it is going to be the Camille. Score back on absolute comfort. A whole lot of this team composition just looks like vintage KT, but here's the difference in the mid lane. Yukal coming in to try his hand at the Azir. Has been playing a lot of it, of course. Everyone has, but
in a matchup
he's
he
be able to make his debut
very well as well, Atlas. Again, he was a Talia one trick for a lot of his climb to the top of Challenger, so a lot familiar. The lights, the fans are going to be unfamiliar for Yukal. Really great treat here. And will he be the next big super rookie in the mid lane?
Yep, could be a difficult one. We'll see whether Kongdoo Monster can stand up to the might of KT Rolster as we head into game number 1 of our final set of the night. Okay, guys, I believe we are starting off with a little bit of a pause.
Sounds like we'll be going into game very soon. Sounds like there's a bit of an audio issue in the mics there, so the headset issues are back.
Oh no, the classic KT audio issue. I believe the Ultra one was a KT problem.
Kingzone have had some issues as well.
Yeah,
so
a few of those.
The audio issues have been going. It sounds like a headset replacement. That's, of course, going to be one of the faster of the accessories being replaced. That's unfortunate to delay his first game. Also, when someone's playing their first game, we sometimes have settings issues, but
that's true as well.
Seems like Yukal's ready to go. Members of Kongdoo Monster, not too many smiles. Hasn't been much to smile about. Not wanting to go 7 match losses in a row and be kind of in a very unenviable position right down the bottom of the ladder. MVP able to move to 3 match wins after beating BBQ twice. Means that Kongdoo are a bit stranded at the bottom.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a problem, but I do like what Kongdoo are doing here. Secret actually making his debut on the Rakan pick, and his Alistair was where they were looking brilliant, to be honest. It was Secret getting around the map and getting things done, so a lot more engage potential here from the bottom lane of Kongdoo Monster, but you have to caveat a lot of the positives that you look at with Kongdoo Monster with just the obvious problems that they have been having, so whether they can get it together in this game.
And you talk about the bot lane, getting a good 2v2 laning duo on paper against Deft and Mata, maybe our best laning 2v2 players in the league, is going to be something that's very necessary. Is big smile on the face of Score. Looking to load into game here very, very soon. There's a Score fan in the audience.
Yep. Just maybe making fun of his smite abilities just a little bit there.
There was a video posted by OGN that included a smite battle between him and our interviewer, Dangun. That was fun to watch. Score saw the sign, no smiles now.
Yep, Score also managed to win in that particular video, just so you guys know. He won that smite battle, so you can put that one down.
Getting another bit of confirmation. Sounds like we're ready to go.
Yeah, we are going to get back in. This audio issue was not as much of a problem as the game issue yesterday, so no worries, no need to get out the podcast just this time around. As you can hear it, Summoner's Rift right here, and let's do it. Game number 1 between KT Rolster and Kongdoo Monster.
Couple of Kongdoo fans cheering. Let's talk a bit again. Big story here, UCal making his debut, going against his own telecom by going for an SKT skin here on the Easy Hoon-inspired Azir. And kind of the fun thing is that we have our newest and youngest player in UCal. 2001, January 30th was born, so only was eligible for pro play, hitting 17 at the end of January. And our longest tenured player, a player in his 574th game professionally in Score. And you know what the funniest thing is there, Atlas?
What is the funniest thing?
When Score made his debut in the OGN Invitational, UCal was 10 years old.
Oh, is that funny?
He was 10 years old. He turned 11 during the course of that season, and now, of course, 17 over 6 years later. So,
my God.
UCal has, I'm sure, been watching. The phenomena of League of Legends in Korea is a long-standing one, and now they're on the same rift, on the same team. Who could have known that it could have gone quite that way?
Big Daddy Score to take care of his mid laner, and of course, that is the sort of synergy that you're looking for. Zedge trying to thread some volleys onto UCal, who avoids all of the damage. Thus far undamaged in LCK.
You know, I think that perfect record's going to be snapped pretty soon, Atlas.
I gotta make my facetious points. It's all about brand building, as Raze is going to take down the Wolf Camp first.
The blue ward already placed onto the blue buffs, so Wolves into his top side. It's kind of the forced route for Raze. He doesn't feel confident to actually clear his 2 camps. That's going to slow down his level 4 a lot, and in general his full clear.
But will actually keep him more healthy as he moves around the jungle, grabbing this red buff a lot earlier after that level 2.
I feel like with Talia to roam down with the rock surfing, that's almost too passive. When we have seen Sejuani's against Zax, we've seen very little invading early in the game.
Speaking of roaming down, very early ward to be put down here by Edge.
I mean, Score knows that these camps are available, so his next path, will it be a greedy full clear? Will it be an invade? With his current tendency towards the bot side, greedy invade is looking pretty good.
Yep.
Is spotted on a ward.
Yeah, ward going to be put down where the Rift Scuttler would be. Score is going to find out exactly what's going on. Sejuani probably the best Rift Scuttler killer in the game with the permafrost. So satisfying.
Support Tom Kench, the backup MVP from the support role, is eating it and doing unspeakable damage.
Likes Shellfish, interestingly enough, given the fact that it does seem a little bit cannibalistic.
So Zach is on the top side, which is going to be expected by Smeb. He's going to have to play pretty respectful here because he knows that Raze is top side after the ward timed out on the blue, confirming that has not actually finished his jungle and he is top side.
Yep. Going to try and take down Smeb, but Smeb casually wanders away. Mata going to eat some Xayah on the bottom side of the map, and he's going to get a flash and a heal out of Soul.
Very risky playstyle from Smeb. He had to use his flash on the engage from Raze, so pretty heavy price now. Zach was, of course, seen very recently, so they know exactly how long it's going to take him to go bot side. So it looks like a blue, but Zion Rakan on the mini-map. That's where the action is, guys. We should watch it.
Yeah, they're going to be moving over. Battle Dance to get Secret out of there, and this will be Score locking down the blue buff, so a 3-buff start for Score. Raze being put in a bit of a hole to start this game off, but it is something that you can come to expect from early games from the Zac. Should be able to make his way back.
The problem that it means for Edge in particular, though, is that now the exact spawn timer is going to be there on the enemy blue. The blue buff's going to be disconnected in terms of spawn timing as well, compared to more standard pathing. It's a sort of scenario where UCal can get his blue, the team can invade the enemy blue together. Talia always mana hungry after the mana costs went up, and potentially could lose out on having any access to blue buffs in the early game. So giving up your blue in a scenario like this could actually be pretty damn heavy cost for the side of Kongdoo Monster.
Yeah, and things are already starting to go a little bit wrong here in the mid lane. You saw UCal gets a very preferential back as Depth is going to get out of the way. Does only use the Arcane Shift and not the Flash. KT still playing on directly the front foot, bottom side of the map.
Aggressive Devour. They even have lane control in Zyrakan. We missed level 1, so we couldn't see if there was the level 2 advantage for Deft and Mana that does cause the Ezreal lanes to go better than expected, but with Zion Rakan very heavily drafted here, prioritized by the side of Kongdoo. Gonna want to try and find some advantage or at least parity between the two lanes.
Klepto working out fantastically for Def at the same time. Does have himself a red pot. He's secured from that one. Always great to grab that one early. Feels brilliant. Soul and Secret playing so subdued for Zion Rakan lane. Smeb picking up all of that farm underneath the turret is certainly good news, but you can see Roach actually holding on to his teleport as he conga lines after all of his minions.
Suggests to me that he feels like he might have to ult bot lane and then not lose his turret topside in the near future.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. So the pressure already being felt by Kongdoo Monster, almost just inherently by how KT's playing.
Smeb's just staying in lane, not worried to go for a quick shot. Will slowly inch his way towards the Trinity Force.
Yeah, Barmy Cinder done for Roach though, so he's going to be able to start shoving in to Smeb.
And this is Smeb just giving no cares at all about the enemy Zac. Still doesn't have his flash up, he's still under the enemy turret. Probably going to back after this wave, but this is definitely the one more wave where you usually get ganked on in competitive play.
So you will take these last two creeps, and thankfully we know that Smeb is going to be A-OK, raised towards the bottom side, actually hanging out in the mid lane. But UKL having none of it. Still has the shifting sands, of course, so no real gank opportunities for Raze. Oh, actually, he's going to get in there, but he's just going to turn this one around. Emperor's Divide onto Edge. As now Stands United comes in, but he still connects to Stretch Armstrong. Does Raze. Score turning up. Does get the Arctic Assault. As in goes Smeb. No hook shot to actually land and find the target. First Blood goes wanting in the mid lane.
You have to love the fact that the first gank he receives, he goes forwards, Atlas. That bodes well for the future. Good sign of an aggressive mid laner. Can't find an advantage even after the outplay. Extra investments come through. He's safe from KT because the summon is spelled teleport on a longer cooldown. Let the Stand United, Kongdoo Monster return to top side. No first blood in the game just yet.
Yeah, an interesting first buy from Smeb as well. Oh my god, okay. Marta is just going to lick the Xayah to death. That was so much burst damage out of that tongue lash.
That should never happen at the highest level. That's a big problem for Kongdoo Monster, who prized the Xayah Rakan in 2v2 with no jungler on the same side of the map. It's first blood.
And with heal available as well from Soul. Yeah. There's a lot of things that are unforgivable about that particular play. Why it caught us by surprise so much. You expect us to be poked down.
You very rarely see kills in the 2v2, especially. Solo kills on the top side, very rare. I guess with Gangplank on the Rift, he can die a couple of times, but
often with a 2v2 like kill as well, it's often about the engage that you get from the opposing bottom lane that results in the kill, but this was just honestly Soul being hit by 2 skill shots and dying.
His flash is still on cooldown if I'm reading the screen correctly.
Yeah, it is.
We don't know what provoked that either, anyway. So I would say they played this bot lane pretty poorly. And
we saw the engage where Soul had to use his flash.
Yes.
But unfortunately wasn't back up again, and he didn't manage to find the heal button in time.
Definitely something to look back on later.
I think the word iffy comes to mind. It was a bit iffy.
It's just bad, Atlas. It's not iffy. It's
I like iffy more.
Yeah, but when you prize Xayah Rakan and then die in the 2v2, it's a pretty big problem.
Yeah.
But they'll try and stay competitive. It is Deft and Mata. You have to remember that the duo here needs to be named because it is 2 of our best laners in Korea. Yukal's still walking up. His flash is down. If he uses the soldiers and doesn't have something to escape to, there's a chance.
Yeah, good positioning from Raze to make sure that he's still in fog of war.
He used the soldier. He used both of them this time.
Yep. Score is right here, though, as the Kidnap does bring him back. Yukal throws out the Emperor's Divide and shifts some sand to get himself out. Once again, the Houdini act working out for the young player in the mid lane.
Yeah, Scott with the smart puffing as well to back him up. So old meets young, and it means that no kill will go the way of Kongdoo Monster in the mid lane. Mata's Qs have to be respected now.
It just hurts so much.
I once saw a Tom Kench use the stopwatch when his tongue was fully extended just to cement the range. It's real far.
It's a long-range tongue.
He does. As long as that alpaca we saw on the sign one time.
Oh, yeah. That amazing video you guys played over at the Gangnam Stadium.
Yep.
The alpacas doing the yelling. I hope you guys saw it. Those ones were really, really cute. They are available on YouTube.
Sort of game. Where would this start? This alpaca might be doing some yelling later as well.
Oh, yes. Not exactly with the best back I don't really like not being able to complete a Manamune or grab, like, the perfect timing for a Tear Sheen.
You do realize he backed and got all 3 things. And a Gathering Storm.
It just doesn't feel really nice.
We did see Gathering Storm on the screen from Deft. Again, if you see an AD carry with Sorcery, it feels like 100% of the time it is Gathering Storm.
Yep. So Sol probably going to have the opportunity to use that one as well. Score. Rift Herald seems to be belonging to him. And Smeb farming out beautifully on the top side of the map. Now with the Sheen and the Tiamat, and everything feels good. Those couple of items shoving minion wave after minion wave into Roach.
KT can break this bot lane turret. They'll rotate mid, Azir and the Ezreal for the push. And then happy to have Camille in a side lane. I think Ray's going to be able to get in on the Rift Herald in time. KT playing a very standard game plan, keeping the map as clean as possible on the top side, and some nice aggressive trades from Roach. Do bait in the mind question of whether there's going to be a Zac in the area. We know he is bot side.
Yeah, there weren't too many pings onto where he was. Back ping that down though, so I'm not sure whether that was KT, but Raze has been focusing on UCal. His flash is just about back off cooldown. He should be fine. Topside vision going the way of KT in a big way.
2 control wards bot side does give Talia the space we always talk about to look for a roam, so at least you can compliment Kongdoo on creating some doubt bot side. He's going to be cleared by Score very quickly though. It's kind of just vision wars we're watching on screen on top and bottom of the map.
Top lane not being able to be cleared out very quickly though by Kongdoo Monster, and Secret and Soul, they need as much help as they can damn well get. KT with a lot of deep vision actually around this bottom lane, sort of the classic places that Raze would start these ganks.
Yeah, but they're getting zoned off the minion wave, which is
up.
really bad for Xayah and Rakan.
21 CS behind at 12 minutes. Not really acceptable as Raze finds his only avenue to go unnoticed towards the bottom lane, which is the lane gank.
It is all summoners and a time catch though.
Yeah, no. It's not going to be that fine to kill, but
Rift Herald's going to be summoned. Ray's not able to interrupt that one with an elastic slingshot. That means the turret is not for this one.
Yep. That is one boop, and Shelly should be able to lock that one down. So 12.5 minutes into the game, first brick going the way of KT. It's a 3,000 gold lead from pretty much farm alone. It's Raze try and head in there, but cheeky little ward, and UCal says, none of your funny business. Basically been camped this game, but hasn't had to worry about anything, as Smeb going to go aggressive onto Roach. But thankfully that dodge field pretty good.
And the problem here for Kongdoo Monster is that because their bot lane has fallen, at this point, massively behind, it's going to be 2-item Ezreal pre 20 minutes, and Essence Reaver is going to be slow onto Soul. So there's going to be a massive power discrepancy between carries. Might even just be Trinity Force a little bit after 20 minutes from the Ezreal, but 2,200 gold in the inventory right now means probably going to be a Manamune completion. So what a second item, it's going to be Trinity Force as well, so powering on towards 2 items. Massive power pre-20 minutes, and Xayah's second item is where she can even start going. The second item is a long way away, Atlas. So there's going to be a lot of power in the Ezreal, and they're actually just going to have Ezreal go bot lane, and it's going to feel like a mid lane Ezreal because he's just going to zone people away from the minion line.
And a fantastic forward ward here by Smeb as well. He's not taken any of this little funny business that Secret's trying to bring into the top lane.
They get the call that Rakan is topside in a ward. So Ezreal backs, gives up the minion wave. Camille will be able to pick it up, slow pushing the way of KT Rolster, and Deft will go back to trying to destroy the bot lane of Kongdoo Monster.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where they are. He's going to hunt them down. Snowball Trinity Force, absolutely love it. If you're doing so well, especially the way that Deft is doing now, it just feels brilliant.
How bad does it feel for Kongdoo Monster? Oh, no. They don't know yet because the minions haven't actually crashed towards
the Kongdoo Monster secret? Oh, don't worry. KT definitely know that one.
This is an open secret from the side of Kongdoo Monster.
They think it's a secret,
though. I kind of want KT to let the minion wave push so it just shows them with an auto attack there's a ward there.
I really hope that Deft is just arcing the middle brush.
Mid lane.
Hanging out there is good flash from Edge, gets him out of the way of the Emperor's Divide.
They knew there was going to be no counter gank, so why not go for the mid lane play?
Also, it's a free flash.
Yep. I gotta say, the Streamer Shuffle mechanics coming through from UCal already better than Pawns, who has been really wayward on trying to make those scoops.
Yeah. He feels like this season's Kuro.
The ward was just about to time out, so that was just the final
Yep.
announcement of, yep, knew you were there.
And he also walks out as the ward gets replaced, and Marta did it from the brush as well. All right, ships in the night as Score and Raze just going to swap paths.
Now, Raze from all the camping is 6 camps behind.
Smeb's jungle Camille. Got it.
He's just having a whale of a time. They're winning in every role. All of them, actually. Everyone's winning, which lets you know that minions are just dying to turrets for the side of Kongdoo.
Yeah, and Roach sitting underneath his inner turret, not able to do anything really. We'll have Stand United now back available again, but has had it for a while.
I'm going to be honest, Atlas, at the start of the season when they went 2-2, I thought the no-hoper Kongdoo monster that we've had relegated twice before was gone. This one, where they're losing everywhere, is reminiscent of those 2 other Kongdoo monster visits to the top flight, unfortunately.
I didn't think that the things that you could rely on with death taxes and Kongdoo monster being last, but it seems like it's getting more and more effective.
So the W didn't do enough damage to break the passive shield from the Rakan, so the back does go through.
Secret gets home. Sol wishes he could go home as well and stay there for the rest of the game because he's having a rough time. Out of turret in the mid lane will just die. And that's Yukal setting up one of his own. Man, this is just a domination.
Oh, yeah. They are completely and utterly outplaying on the micro and macro level. Kongdoo monster look hapless. This feels like an aborted scrim, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah.
And also difficult to tell how good Yukal is. He's had some very nice moves isolated in the mid lane, so that's great, but you need pressure to truly judge how good a player is playing against Fake or playing against BDD, and not really getting much pressure this game.
Yeah, we thought that Edge might be decent competition. He has had a good performance as Deft and Marta. Gonna try and run away from Edge, which is strange. The flash actually comes in.
Nice.
Stand United down as well as Edge turns up. They've got the Devour onto Deft, and the flash comes out from Marta. Somehow they're still alive as the rest of KT finally turn up. It's Deft who's going to be the first one to die, but the kidnap is going to be to the own death of the Zac. Smeb picks up 2 already. Roach is going to go down. Make that a 3rd potentially. Yes, it is.
They want more.
Triple kill comes in. The flash. Smeb could go for a quadra kill. And this could actually be his 1000th kill in a quadra. No, Yukal is going to deny that one. Edge on the wrong side of this battle. Yukal comes in. He wants to find some more. Smeb, he wants 1,000 kills on this one. He gets it. That's going to be the ace at the beginning of the game as KT only lose Deft.
1,000 kills, first top lane to get the crowd, get the confirmation. Congratulations to Smeb. He's been right up there, top 3 top laner since 2015. Big congrats to him.
Yeah, we didn't think that he'd make it in one fight as well, but he does so. Really nice answer to Kongdoo Monster, and you can understand why they were trying to do it, but they're down 8,000 gold at 18 minutes. You mentioned aborted scrim, it feels exactly like that.
We get the replay, and this was almost the greatest escape we've ever seen. How many bad guys to take down our protagonist, Deft and Marta, who had walked away with the lane? The answer was 4. They eventually, it's 5, sorry. They needed the Shen also to join them. Unfortunately, everything was down, and then Smeb and KT are feeling it as true a 4v5 as you could ever call. They rush in, and there's no exit plan for the side of Kongdoo Monster.
Yeah, just beautifully executed by Smeb as well. He was a one-man wrecking ball. As Yukal did his bit on the back end, it's just KT styling at this stage. Nothing Edge can do.
Always difficult to talk about these games. We never want to mince words, but you kind of need to. This game is super, super over. KT Rolster massively ahead. Their item completions are titanic. Everyone is way ahead. 2,000 gold in the bot lane, even though there's no kills onto the Ezreal. 1,700 gold in the mid lane. In fact, everyone's just up a lot.
Everyone is just winning a lot more than Kongdoo Monster. That is how it works. Double Trinity Force to come in. You've got the Dream first couple of items for Yukal as well. In fact, in that last fight, he had the Haunting Guys as well as the Sorcerer's Shoes, plus his Nash's Tooth. Like, that feels like a great point as far as itemization is concerned on the Azir. Had it, picked up a lot of damage, got a bunch of assists, and a kill for himself as well.
And 20 minutes in, we can say, so far, Azir mechanics seem better than his opposition, seem better than Pawn. So, it's when it comes to early
Pawn's
game.
his opposition this game. We're not even talking about Kongdoo Monster anymore.
Well, I'm just saying that we have to judge something about the game, and Yukal's performance on Azir, given how impactful the pick is, and the fact that Pawn just doubly struggled on it last series against Rox Tigers, is something small to take away from the game.
Very true. Not sure whether Pawn might make a visit to this series or whether UCal is just going to ride this one out. Looks like Kongdoo aren't offering too much to KT.
I wonder,
game number 1.
I wonder what you do as Kongdoo, because you know this game is over. There's no way back into it. You know you were already heavy underdogs for the series. 7 match losses in a row must be a really hard thing to juggle. And again, the saddest thing is we've seen these exact players struggle in the exact same manner again and again. Too good for Challenger, but not good enough for the LCK has sadly become the story for Kongdoo Monster. And they've largely stuck with the same roster as well. Guga finally out of the roster, their old captain, and Secret confirmed as the starter. But it is tricky. You know, we don't often see extended looks at the teams that struggle. We hear from the winning teams. We see the trophy cases. Kongdoo Monster don't have one of those, so very, very tricky, I imagine, to be on that squad.
Yeah. However, when you've got nothing to lose, it does make it a little bit easier to get through moments like this because you're expecting this sort of outcome.
But it doesn't have to be this way, right? They did take a win off of SK Telecom T1 in that series. Game 2 might promise greener pastures, but they could hardly be more sparse than a game like this where no one can enter lane against Camille. The Azir has 2 items. Ezreal's just been styling, even though the kill score isn't that way. And we're kind of just waiting for KT to feel strong enough to force something and then inevitably win a team fight around it.
They have 1 billion wards around Baron, I think, and it's going to mean that they'll have an opportunity to try and rush that one away. See whether Raze can actually get in there. We're talking about item spikes. I guess Sol now has 2 items, but sort of doesn't mean anything at this stage. It's all about what your opponent has, and he's just too far behind for getting to those first items to really mean anything. Raze doesn't find anything at all, as the flash actually does come out of Marta, so a bit of respect being given to Kongdoo Monster.
Camille going to take a turret in the side lane. They tried to make an all-in play with a long-range engage. We talked about Elastic Slingshot into ultimate. They get a flash, they lose a turret. Not the trade you want to make, but that's really the only option they have, is to try and throw everything and outnumber KT Rolster.
Well, Skull's actually just straight up by himself here in the enemy jungle. Zia shoving things out on the top side of the map. Edge actually has to answer that one. Weaver's Wall now on cooldown. Kongdoo not going to have that one to try and botch any of these potential Baron starts. KT certainly... Oh my god, okay. Sol almost 3-hit by Deft. The Trinity Force doing a whole lot of work. And if he had another Mystic Shot armed with a Sheen proc, I think Sol was just straight up dead. Secret wasn't there to help him, as there's a Grand Entrance, but it's actually going to fall short anyway.
Hey, Deft has actually managed to botch the cleanse Arcane Shifts away from Grand Entrance. You'll remember when Rakan was last at meta last year, so good to see that one was smoother.
Oh my goodness, Secret taking a lot of damage from Smeb as well. Trinity Force users not exactly what Kongdoo Monster lineup want to be dealing with.
Ghost Flash on Secret, Elastic Slingshot, Ultimate on cooldown, but that's going to be the threat. Meanwhile, going to be 2-man Baron from KT.
Yep, the Best Friends Club. Big Daddy Score and UCal, the youngster, going to take down the Baron.
You know, Kongdoo Monster don't know for sure, but they can't do anything. It's going to be free. First side of KT.
I'm Deft, I'm helping. Throws a Mystic Shot in. But now it's just going to be more and more difficult to deal with Smeb, who can keep split pushing on the Camille. He already does way too much damage. Ravenous Hydra now picked up 2 items that you really want to do a whole bunch of damage. And UCal somehow managed to get 24 minutes into this game. A whole bunch of farm as well. Deft probably wanted to go back and finish a full Blade of the Ruin King. What do you reckon?
I reckon it doesn't matter, Atlas. He might build some ability powder, whatever. No, he's
he hasn't got his Void Staff yet.
No. There was Void Stuff Varus in our first series.
Yeah, there was.
Wasn't really worth mentioning because it was just a bit of icing on top. Kongdoo Monster might be able to pick up their first buff in a while.
Oh yeah, nice. Goes over to Sol. We can talk about a good thing. Although not really.
My mother did say not to talk about the bad things, just not say anything instead.
Yeah. All right, so I guess, should we just leave? Or do we only talk about KT Rolster? And that is certainly something that we can do. They have been playing fantastically well. Smeb goes back and grabs Guardian Angel. This is the KT that we wanted to see this series. I know it's not the Kongdoo Monster, as now the catch is actually going to be on to UCal. Does get the Emperor's Divide down in the end. It does so much damage as KT looking to try and turn up. Raze does get at least the stretch Armstrong, but Deft in the backline, untouched. Featherstorm, is it going to be able to do anything? I'm not entirely sure. Deft Arcane shifting forward. Secret just wandered out of. You mentioned Deft being unable to move out of that one earlier on. Smeb continues split pushing, and despite the fact that they do give UCal his first death so far of the LCK, not going to be able to find too much more after that as Raze jumps in and will just straight up die.
4v5, they keep going forward, either. But now it might actually be 4v4.
Yep, in goes Smeb, make it 1001 as Soul's going to get destroyed. Roach trying to get out. Weaver's Wall does absolutely nothing. Base is now broken in 2 places. Top inhibitor will go down. And they really have to kill Deft if they want to save any of these structures because he just does so much damage, not to mention Smeb as well. And they're actually going for the end. We've got a minute left on this Baron buff. As Secret and Roach, I don't think they're going to be enough. They just can't kill minions. And these Nexus turrets are getting destroyed. 26 minutes into the game. And KT Rolster, we haven't seen a shellacking like this for a very long time. And damn, they look good doing it. What is that, Smeb? So much damage. Raze is going to respawn, but the Nexus, that ain't going to until game number 2. And KT Rolster, yes, they changed up their mid lane, but I think we're going to need another showing to be able to make any real assessments.
Yeah, KT Rolster just blow away Kongdoo Monster. Not a game after the early laning phase where Zaya Rakan just died straight up 2v2 to a big lick coming through from Mata.
Yeah.
UCal on its first game showed great mechanics. Again, like you say, we'll need more tape to really get a full information. Sadly for Kongdoo Monster, we get all the tape we need to know that this struggle will extend. It'll be very difficult for them as the other 9 teams have moved forward to actually match them. There's 2 match wins in the first 4. Might be sparing them some blushes because 7 losses in a row seems right around the corner.
Yeah, it's one of those games where if you imagine it like it was 2 armies facing off like in Braveheart or something like that, what KT did was pretty much drop a nuke on the other side, and then there's no real need for any of these sort of fights because the early game dictated that Kongdoo had absolutely nothing that they could do, but hopefully they can get their spirits back in order because after a game like that, it was over very, very quickly. Just don't dwell on it. Try and rejig your mind to maybe grab a different draft, cancel things out for KT, limit some of their options, and come back fighting in game number 2.
Yeah, they definitely felt that 6 times so far, though, Atlas. They could bring in Yujun, but I don't know how much that would change with Score in great form. The options aren't there for Kongdoo. It's why it's hard to rank them above bottom 2. They just don't have the players to stand up to great opposition. And KT today, great opposition in game 1.
Yeah. Shout out to UCal as well. I mean, from what we did see, certainly did look good, but we are going to go to a short break. When we get back, game number 2 between KT, Kongdoo Monster.